Hello and welcome back to the Football Terrace. Breaking news in relation to Manchester United this afternoon. Firstly, Fabrizio Romano's message, I'll read this out verbatim. Sevilla are in advanced talks to sign a new left-back as per report last week. Deal soon to be done. No more chances at all of Sergio Reguilon returning. The player wants to join. In fact, his words are, he'd love to join Manchester United. United are considering him a major option, but negotiating on the 30 million euros. Essentially, we want him, but we want to get the price down, which, of course, is the nature of the beast. Second big update this afternoon is Man United looking at the possibility of Thiago. Journalist and broadcaster Richard Marrow tweeted out this breaking news: a deal that could see Thiago Alcantara join Manchester United from Bayern Munich is now more likely than ever before. An agreement on fee structure, and agent fees are close. Personal terms yet to be resolved, but the easiest hurdle by far. To give you an example, he's a football news journalist, BN Sports analyst as well. That is Richard Marrow. And for me, I want to delve into this in a little bit more detail. And the third element that really stands out today is that at halftime in Man United's preseason game against Aston Villa, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer left the team, left the stadium to go and conclude some type of business. We don't know exactly what that is yet, but I want to hear from you right here, right now. How likely do you think Sergio Reguilon is? The player is making it public knowledge that he wants Manchester United. That should help reduce the price. The Thiago deal, United's name has not been discounted once by a single credible. Not once have they said it's a nonsense deal. Not once have they said it isn't a credible link. And now Richard Marrow has said that deal can go through and looking more likely than ever before. Ollie leaving in the way that he did. I want your views. I want your opinions. Smash the like button now. Skype lines are open. Search Football Terrace on Skype. You'll see our details. I'll also share them in a few moments when the screen loads up on there. But Thiago to Man United likely. Reguilon wants the Man United move. I want to know what you're thinking. I want to know what you're feeling. Of course, more football coming up later on today on the Football Terrace as well. We're going to be bringing you live reactions to the Liverpool game as well as everything else. But as I say, I want to hear from you. I want to know what you think. I want to know what you feel. Nabil, welcome back to the Football Terrace. What do you make of this breaking news in relation to Man United this afternoon?
Man, Terry, how are you today?
I'm brilliant. Yourself?
I am good. So in past couple of days, I wanted to ask you, but I never had a chance when we were on the call. How Man United is going to fund all these three players? That's the main thing. I would love to get all three: Thiago, Reguilon, and Sancho. But how they're going to fund this? That's a question I want to ask you. Like, I wanted to get your opinion on.
What do you? Why do you think we can't fund it? That's what I'm confused about.
Because I love Ollie, and I wanted to make sure that he gets backing from our board. But our board is not that good, competent to score those three.
Listen, whether you like our board or not, we've spent over £900 million on players in 7 years. We spend money.
Yeah, we did. And factually, yes, we did. But in one transfer window, I would love to get.
We spent 190 million pounds last season for Ollie.
Yes. I never ever have a doubt. But right now they have a perfect example, like saying COVID and all these things. Previously, yes, but right now I have a doubt. But if we get it, I'm happy that Thiago and Reguilon will be coming in, and Sancho as well. We will have the best midfielders in our team. We have the best strikers.
So let me just explain this to you again.
Sure.
No club buys 3 or 4 players and pays for them all in lump sums cash. This is as rare as rocking horse poo. Doesn't
I
happen.
know amortization. I'm an accountant.
Yes.
I exactly get it. Like
so let me just finish. So you get it then. So just getting rid of Alexis Sanchez has saved Man United over £24 million per year. That covers let's just say that covers Reguilon. That's him done as an example. Just that deal. Okay. First and foremost, that one is dealt with. That one is taken care of. Man United also have cash reserves of over £240 million. Equally, there are other players that are going to go out and are going to leave. The Smallings, the Rojos, the Joneses, the Pereiras, collectively, in wages alone, will save us £52 million this year, plus any transfer fees that we raise. So there is physical cash. There is still elements of our turnover that we can spend, and there is a sale of other players. I don't know the exact details because I'm not their accountant, but that is fundamentally how Man United do it. We will raise and save through sales and the reintegration of salaries from players outgoing. We will raise somewhere between 80 and 90 million pounds from that. That covers a lot of the outgoings on these players. Plus, we have 240 million pounds in cash reserves if we need to delve into it. So it's more than doable. We've added eye test to the stream here. Eye test, what do you want to say, bro?
Yes. So what I wanted to say is, if this news is true that Thiago is likely, and Jadon Sancho comes, I believe Man United have a strong chance of winning the league, because if you look at just the midfield, for me, that's probably the best midfield in the world. Paul Pogba, for me, we haven't seen the best of him at Man United, but I believe we're gonna see the best of him from now on in. Thiago, we've seen what he's done throughout the years. This season won a Champions League. Bruno Fernandes came in and we seen what he did. And if we get Jadon Sancho on the right, with Anthony Martial hitting his peak, Mason Greenwood, bro.
Mate, and I agree with you, I test. I've said all along. If we bring in Reguilon, Sancho, and Thiago, with, of course, the signing that we've already made of Donny van de Beek with this squad. And, I pointed this out the last few days, and you can be a hater of Ollie, or you can be his number one fan. The one thing that's impressed me the most this summer is the fact that it's the first time in 7 years we've had an uneventful summer in terms of a player looking to leave, a player unhappy, there being arguments and unrest within the dressing room. It is clean, it is professional, it sounds like a great environment, and I'm so looking forward to us kicking off the season next week. I really am. And if we bring those three players in to this, we have an absolute shot of being Premier League champions, because our midfield, a midfield that consists of four players, not all playing at the same time, of course, of Van de Beek, Thiago, Bruno, and Pogba, is the best in Europe. There is no doubt about that in my mind. We have a young attacking quartet who are still a couple of years away from peaks, and some of them are 3 or 4 years away from their peaks, but have an absolute ceiling beyond anything I've seen at Manchester United before. They have the potential to grow to be better than the collective of Rooney, Ronaldo, Tevez, and Berbatov. Grow to the collective. Now, it's huge. It's massive.
Also on the ad, you made a good point a couple of days ago. I was listening, and you said Martial will be a year older, Greenwood will be a year older, Rashford will be a year older. I think they're going to be like new signings, because Martial's hitting his peak, Greenwood and Rashford getting older, and I think Pogba is now hitting his peak as well. He just turned 27. I think now we're going to see peak Paul Pogba. We're going to see peak Bruno Fernandes. They're going to be like new signings as well, I believe. Even Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, like another year in the club. I believe that's going to be key.
Yeah, I agree. And all of it does that. And you suddenly throw a Thiago and a Van der Beek in front of our defense, that improves. You throw a Reguilon in at left back, the defense improves again further. There's also the competition for David De Gea now in goal, improves us further again. And look, it's going to take a couple of weeks. We know we had a preseason game today, I believe. I just read somewhere that we lost 1-0 to Villa in a preseason game. Listen, no one will ever banter me on preseason. Whether we win all of our games or lose all of our games, I think they mean absolutely nothing. They're about fitness. They're about getting yourselves ready. They're about trying new things. It really isn't a big deal for me, whether we win or lose them. I don't even pay any attention. I don't personally seek it out. I just see it on my timeline. Man United have got a massive opportunity. My hope is that Ollie is left to get one of these 3 deals done. My hope of him leaving is to be that final nail in the coffin on the deal, if that makes sense, to go there, get it concluded, get it done, move things on, because that's what we need to now look at. That's the kind of mold we now need to get into as a football team, is getting these things over the line. As an example, we know that Fabrizio has tweeted in relation to the Sergio Reguilon situation. That's an interesting one for me. I believe we'll sign him now. This notion of we're not happy with the fee, and we won't pay 30 million euros. That's cool. I think that's fair. We're going to try and drive that price down by 3 or 4 million euros, and we're right in doing that, because you don't want to overpay for anybody, not in this market at all. When you've gone and signed Donny van der Beek for 35 million, I think you're absolutely right to get Reguilon for that little bit less. We've added Prime to the call. Prime, what do you make of these stories this afternoon and how they're broken?
Yeah, it's interesting that 2 players almost over the line. Sancho also as well for United, almost over the line. Their summer windows really looking to shape up, particularly like it was only a few weeks ago when some United fans were getting frustrated by apparently the lack of movement. And now it looks like you're going to secure your top targets.
Listen, let me put out my views here. I still think Liverpool are favourites to sign Thiago. If Man United, I've always felt that if Man United started to make a serious move towards him, it would create a reaction from Liverpool Football Club. However, what a brilliant time to go and do it when they're just about to kick off their first Premier League game. I mean, can you imagine? It may not happen this way. Can you imagine if during Liverpool's game we announced we've come to an agreement with the player and with Bayern Munich? That sincerely, it's that sincerely to me would just be, it would hurt Liverpool so much to do it during their game. It's unlikely to happen. A super chat here from Tokes Cole says, "Big up Terry, love your show. Nice dive into the pool the other day." He says, "I will donate a 1,300 super chat when Sancho signs." Bro, I can't ask you to do that, but that would be an amazing donation to the Football Terrace if you could do that, my friend. But only do that if that's affordable to you, if you don't need that money for anything in particular or important. But yeah, amazing. Thank you for the donation. That means a great deal to us here.
That's the sort of talk that Zayn would, come out with.
You know what? We've got Tokes Cole here and we've got Red United. These men are starting to challenge Zayn as our biggest donators, and we appreciate all of them profusely. They really, really do. They really, really do. But you're right. These deals could be massive. Tess, you're a United fan. Signing Thiago is a brilliant move from a football standpoint for United. Would it also be nice to stick a thumb in the eye of Liverpool?
I think so. Liverpool are like I said, Liverpool are looking shaky this summer. I've said it before. I think they're gonna drop off because last summer they didn't buy a lot in the summer, and I think they were lucky that they with injuries, so they were able to go on and win the league. This summer, I don't think they're gonna be to just not make any more signings. So I believe Liverpool are gonna drop off, and I think it's nice for us to take a player away from them that they were linked to. Liverpool are looking shaky though.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. By the way, Tonks Cole, everybody's saying you've now got to put your money where your mouth is if that signing comes through. I'm just calling that out. Elite KJ's just joined us, bro. We were live streaming. I heard about the Thiago thing. I didn't take it overly seriously, but with Thiago news, the Reguilon news, and then Ollie leaving at half-time, I mean, look, he could be leaving to take his daughter to the dentist, right? There could be something innocuous and normal about it. But when you get all 3 things happen in the space of half hour, 45 minutes, does that give you a feeling that something might be happening?
I think with the whole things coming out, I think that Ollie leaving I don't think it has anything to do with those 2 deals. I think it, if anything, has more to do with the Jadon Sancho deal, because there's nothing being said. And so I think something's brewing. I think if it was going to be anything, of that kind of sorts, it would be, I think Jadon Sancho is getting pretty close. I think there's still work to be done for Reguilon if that was to go through, and a lot more work for Thiago if that was going to go through. So I don't think Oli would necessarily leave for those two deals. I think Jadon Sancho, that would be the one that he leaves the game for.
So there's a point someone made here, one of our regular viewers, Terry. It doesn't make sense for Thiago to leave Bayern and go to a team not challenging for the Champions League. KJ, what's your reaction to a comment like that?
My reaction is this: he's won the treble, won the Champions League. Sometimes players want to change their surroundings and want to challenge themselves in a different way. Not every player likes to move on and always be playing for the best teams. Some players like the thought of building the team up and taking them back to where they were going. Like, look at Werner, for instance. Werner, he easily could have waited 3 weeks for Liverpool, but he decided not to. And you gotta wonder, is that because maybe he thought about it? Is actually the idea of bringing a team back to the top is what I want to do, because he's mentioned that before. So Thiago, I'm not saying that's what Thiago is doing and what he will do. I'm just saying potentially he could be thinking, maybe I want to challenge and see if I can really take this team back to the top.
Yeah, and I think sorry, go on, who's that?
Project. Yeah, I was. If he comes, it also shows that he could see the projects for him to leave a club that just won the treble and to come to United. It shows that he could see us building to a level where we could challenge for a Champions League.
Yeah, and I think I agree with you, and I think as well, if you this is where it comes down to it. If Thiago's, and we don't know what's being said behind the scenes. I still make Liverpool favourites. Don't get it twisted. I genuinely still think they are going to sign Thiago in the cold light of day. But if you throw a Van der Beek, a Sancho, a Reguilon, and Thiago into the Man United team we already have, I think it's plausible that we could challenge for those titles. You know, and I just don't. I don't see how it's anyone who says it's an impossibility has never watched football before. We have no idea how well they'll gel. We have no idea how well they'll click. But we don't know if it'll work. But we also don't know if in the same way of not knowing if it's going to work, there's also an element of saying it could click into gear and Man United suddenly look like the best team in the world. And it's about selling the deal. It's about selling the dream to people. And that sometimes is done on a sort of regular basis. We've added man like Rome to the stream. Man like Rome. What you saying about this deal, bro?
What's going on, brother? Listen, man, I'm excited, bro. I'm happy. Remember the other day, I when we were talking, I said, "Hey, what's going on with Thiago? Why we haven't, shown any interest in him?" And I'm thinking, in my opinion, Thiago wouldn't necessarily be the end of Fred, because Fred would be like in that pivot for that number 8 position, and Thiago would be there with Matic fighting for that holding position. And I thought, if we had the opportunity to get him, why not? And that was where I was going with that conversation the other day. And so I'm kind of happy that this is popping up now, because I think Liverpool, with Wijnaldum staying, is going to lower the interest in Thiago, which is going to make him even more interested in coming to us. So I think this is a wonderful opportunity. If we can get Thiago and give him that number 8 and have him sit right there, switching up with Matic every now and again, because Matic can't play more than 2 games for a week.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I think that would be a perfect buy. And if you look at the lineup today that Oli sent out, he has Luke Shaw playing in left centre back, which means that that's still a possibility for Luke Shaw. That's where he wants Luke Shaw to be playing. And if Luke Shaw stays at left centre back and we get Reguilon, then Reguilon will probably be our the predominant left back, while Luke Shaw fluctuates in that left centre back position. Because you might have Luke Shaw playing that left centre back position, kind of moving him from like what Real Madrid did to Sergio Ramos, because Ramos was a right back in the day. So who knows, man?
No, I hear what you're saying. There's somebody here says the thumbnail shouldn't say likely. Well, the thumbnail says likely because the journalists that have spread the story have said that it's likely. There we go. Tox Cole here says, I'm a man of my word. You know this. Well, I appreciate that, bro. I really do. And look, like I've said before, I'm 90 to 95% sure Jadon Sancho happens. I'm about 80% sure that the Reguilon deal is real. Again, there's just too much. Like with someone like Fabrizio, right? Fabrizio's not a BSer in any way. And if Man United were not interested in Reguilon at all. It was like we're not even seriously considering it. He would say Reguilon wants to move, but Man United have said no to it. It would just be put to bed. The fact that it's there and it's sitting there all the time tells me there's something going on in relation to that. And the Thiago deal is interesting. You could argue that the Europe, especially the German-based European press, have been using Man United to try and speed Liverpool along. Where that theory falls down is in the sense of Liverpool would make a phone call or two, wouldn't they? Maybe directly to Manchester United, who knows, or to an intermediary that's friendly with both, and that will exist because clubs deal with the same intermediaries and players and lawyers anyway, at player signing level, and just ask the question of, are Man United actually looking at Thiago? It's not hard in their world to find out. Does that make sense? And if Liverpool know that Man United are not serious about him, then they're not going to be worrying their heads anyway. Like it's easy for us to have the wall pulled over our eyes by the media, but you're literally talking about people involved in that industry. Do you get where I'm coming from? That was Joe Lopez. I had to mute you then because you've got music on in the background. Can't have that playing, bro. I was going to come and ask your opinion. Joe, right, I'm legit having to kick you out now because I don't know why you're playing music down the thing there. But so that's my views on it, boys. I feel like it's one of them things that it could happen. It may happen. But it'll be interesting to sort of see how things transpire in the coming few days. What I am loving is the hate and the anger from people right now. And like KJ, I want to ask you the same thing as I was saying earlier to iTest. If we could pull this deal off for Thiago, I, by the way, think as well this deal is more likely, Ollie leaving is more likely to do with Sancho. If we could pull off the Thiago deal, though, or announce it during this Liverpool game, would that just be the best way to troll Liverpool ever?
Before I speak, I also think that Thiago will more likely go to Liverpool. But if we ended up snatching it, and the news broke during that Liverpool game, it would make their game so irrelevant, man. Like no one would care, fam, and that would be beautiful. Your opening game of the season, like the champions, getting outshadowed by a United transfer that is being basically us stealing the player away from you. Yeah. Beautiful, fam.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Lee Chambers here on Twitter says, knowing our ball though, Terry, Ollie's gone to pick up Josh King and Brooks. And there is that as well. And I think that's what is so interesting about this. We want it to be one of these stars that we all want and we're all eager to get at the club, but we need to be mindful. But it would be a nice way of Man United kind of not keeping themselves relevant. We're the most relevant team in the Premier League, but it would be a great way of keeping Man United like at the forefront of the news during the opening Premier League. Arsenal's victory, whatever Liverpool do today, whatever Chelsea do Monday, will be overshadowed by Man United announcing any one of the three of Reguilon, Thiago, and especially Jadon Sancho. It would just dominate. Like people, I remember when Man United won the Premier League title the same day that City won their first trophy in like nearly 40 years. The papers just like they were on the third or fourth page back. And it was just, again, United won the league the weekend they won it, but it would be one of those moments where we could just overshadow all these teams and all these clubs just by announcing a player, because we're just that big, we're that relevant, we're that big, we're that important, and it's brilliant to see. But there we go, boys. I appreciate all of you coming on and having your say as ever, and I'll chat to you all again soon. All right.
Yeah, peace.
Take care, boys. Thank you all very, very much indeed. We'll do a few more of your comments coming. But the reason I had to end that call is there's someone in that group chat who keeps coming back in to try and troll and do things. Terry, you're a fake presenter. Thank you. Let's do some of the hate here. Fake presenter, dead channel. This is the Liverpool fan says, you're obsessed with us. Yes, I am. I'm obsessed with all my rivals. I care about my rivals. I want my rivals to lose. I want to get one over on them. I want to be bigger than them. I want to be better than them. Football is about loving your team and being absolutely obsessed with your rivals. If you're not obsessed with your rivals, there's no point. Football is dead if we are not obsessed with our rivals. We've got Brian on the show now. Brian, welcome back to the Football Terrace. What do you want to say? Brian?
I just want to say that I don't know why people are getting so angry about us not buying Reguilon for 30 million. Like, what club would not try and negotiate the price down?
Brother, Man United fans have cried for 7 years that we overpay. We then try to not overpay, and they cry. These people, block, mute, delete them from your life. These are the fake Man United fans. They are charlatans. They are Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal fans trying to gain attention on social media by pretending to be Man United fans. And they hide behind the notion of, I've just got really high standards. It's nothing to do with your standards because you hypocrisize yourself at every step. You're fake. We, the real Man United fans, can see through you. Do one. We are no longer listening to you. You people, by the end of this season, will be so irrelevant in the Man United scene. It will be unbelievable. That's my view, Brian.
Another thing I wanted to say was, where did you find out that Ollie left at halftime?
The internet. I see it now. It was trending. There was a few big Man United accounts that were talking about it. I think it was mentioned during the commentary on MUTV, I believe, is what I read. It's not been debunked. It's been, So I heard that's true. So
Okay.
Yeah.
And about Jadon Sancho as well. I'm a bit worried because, they said that they were trying to get him in before the Crystal Palace game, and I presume that bid will be put on today or tomorrow if we want to get him playing for that match. So, yeah.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, and look, it shows today as well. A lot of people moaning, oh, we lost the game, right? Our starting lineup today was De Gea, Delo, Lindelof, Shaw, Williams, Scotty Mac, Fred, Pereira, Mata, Lingard, Igalo. I would literally say, barring Lindelof and De Gea and Shaw, the rest of that's our backup and reserve team. So people have just got you don't get angry about losing preseason games anyway. Secondly, context is always required because that there is our reserve team, barring 2 or 3 players, if you get where I'm coming from. That our first team, by the opening weekend, you're going to add Maguire back to that. You're going to add AWB, Donny van der Beek, Bruno, Pogba, Rashford, Martial, Greenwood, maybe even the likes of Sancho and Reguilon by then. So United fans, don't be panicking. United are moving in the right direction. It's all good. Embrace it, because trust me, when we make these signings in the next week or so, you are going to be living in a world where you've never seen so much bitterness. It's going to be trust me, there's going to be so much salt flying around. You're going to be lucky not to have a stroke. It's going to be terrible, but funny at the same time. It's going to be outrageous. And especially if Man United manage to pull off a miracle and take Thiago away from Liverpool. I don't think it will happen, but if it does, wait for the hate. You are going to see the biggest meltdown in social media. It will make a rant on AFTV like 2 old ladies having an argument outside of Mecca Bingo. Do you know what I mean? It's going to literally be the biggest meltdown in the history of football if Man United take Thiago away from Liverpool. It will be peak. Bro, I appreciate you coming on the show and having your say as ever. Everybody that's tuned in, please hit the like button, hit the share button as well. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again soon. Peace.